The fluorescent lights flickered as Lisa adjusted her scrubs, the crisp fabric contrasting with the warmth of her skin. It was just past midnight, the start of her shift at Divine Grace Hospital, and the world outside was wrapped in a blanket of silence. She loved the night shift, the hushed conversations, the soft beeping of machines, and the anticipation that lingered in the air. As she walked through the emergency room, she noticed Officer Andrew Miller, tall and rugged, leaning against the wall, his dark uniform fitting him like a glove. The shadows played across his chiseled jawline, and Lisa felt an unexpected flutter in her stomach. They had shared countless late-night conversations, their chemistry simmering beneath the surface.
"Hey, Nurse Lisa,"
Andrew greeted, his voice deep and warm, breaking her out of her reverie.
"Ready to save the world again?"
She smirked, pushing a stray hair behind her ear.
Just another night, Officer Miller. What brings you here at this hour? More trouble to deal with?
Andrew chuckled, his eyes sparkling with mischief.
"You know how it is. Just keeping the streets safe while you're playing doctor."
They both knew the playful banter was just a cover for the growing tension between them. Every stolen glance, every lingering touch was a silent confession of the desire they tried to ignore. As the night wore on, the ER remained quiet. They found themselves gravitating toward each other during breaks, sitting side by side in the staff lounge, sharing stories.
Ever thought about what it's like to save someone's life?
Lisa's gaze softened.
Every day. It's the reason I became a nurse. The adrenaline rush is exhilarating. And what about you, officer? Do you ever feel like a hero?
She teased, nudging him with her elbow, a smirk on his lips.
But I think heroes also need to feel. We can't just be tough all the time, right?
Lisa paused, sensing the weight of his words.
What do you mean?
Andrew took a deep breath, his vulnerability surprising her.
I guess I just wish I could be more than just a badge. I want to connect, to find something real.
Her heart raced.
You're not just a badge to me, Andrew. You're more.
Their eyes locked, a moment of electric silence enveloping them, full of unspoken feelings. She could feel the heat radiating from him, a magnetic pull that drew her closer. As the clock struck 2, they found themselves outside on the hospital's rooftop, the city skyline stretching out before them. The cool breeze tousled their hair, and the stars twinkled overhead.
Sometimes I feel so alone in this job.
Lisa confessed, leaning against the railing.
It's hard to connect with people when they're always in crisis.
Andrew moved closer, their shoulders brushing.
I get that. The night can be isolating, but it can also be beautiful. Just look at the stars.
Or the view.
She quipped, glancing at him with a playful smile.
You're quite the distraction, officer.
Their laughter faded as the air thickened with anticipation. Andrew shifted closer, their bodies almost touching.
"You're the distraction I didn't know I needed,"
he whispered, his breath warm against her ear. Lisa's pulse quickened.
What if I said I've been thinking about this moment for a while?
"Then I'd say you're not alone,"
he murmured, his gaze intense.
"because I can't stop thinking about you."
Their playful banter gradually intensified, with every word carrying an undercurrent of hidden desire.
"What would you do if we weren't at work?"
Andrew asked, his voice dropping an octave.
I'd take you somewhere private. Somewhere we could be ourselves.
"Sounds tempting,"
he teased, stepping even closer.
"And what would happen next?"
Maybe we'd find out what it feels like to truly connect.
She breathed, her heart racing. Andrew's gaze darkened with intensity.
"You have no idea how long I've wanted to kiss you, Lisa."
Then what are we waiting for?
She challenged, her pulse racing with excitement. In an instant, he closed the gap, capturing her lips with his. The kiss was electrifying, igniting a fire between them. Her hands found their way to his hair, pulling him closer as their bodies melded together, lost in the moment. But just as they pulled away, panting, their kiss was abruptly interrupted. A call blared through Andrew's radio, shattering their intimate bubble and pulling them back into reality.
Yo, Miller, we need you on site ASAP. There's a robbery going down at the corner of 5th and Main. Get your ass over there now.
"I gotta go,"
he muttered, his voice thick with regret.
"but I promise, I'll be back before you know it."
Lisa swallowed hard, her heart aching but understanding.
I'll be here.
She whispered, trying to keep the crack out of her voice.
Come back in one piece, okay?
Andrew leaned in, brushing a kiss across her forehead, eyes lingering on hers.
"You're all I'm coming back for."
As he left, Lisa felt a rush of disappointment mixed with anticipation. The connection they had was undeniable, but the world outside their bubble was harsh and unforgiving. Hours passed, and the ER grew quieter, the stillness amplifying her thoughts. She replayed their kiss, the intensity of the moment etched in her mind. Just as dawn began to break, the doors swung open with a crash. Paramedics rushed in, and Lisa's heart sank when she saw Andrew on a stretcher, his face pale and contorted with pain. One of the paramedics shouted,
Gunshot wound to the right arm. He's bleeding profusely.
No!
Lisa gasped, rushing to his side, her heart racing. As she stood there, everything around her blurred. His words from the night before echoed in her mind.
But I promise, I'll be back before you know it. You're all I'm coming back for.
The promise he made, the kiss that left her breathless, all replayed in her head.
You're all I'm coming back for. You're all I'm coming back for.
Tears stung her eyes as she gripped his hand, desperate not to lose him.
You said you'd come back. Don't break that promise.
She silently pleaded, her heart aching at the sight of him fighting for his life.
Andrew, can you hear me?
His eyes fluttered open, pain etched across his features. I'm sorry. I promised.
Shh, don't talk.
She urged, her voice steady despite the panic in her chest.
I'm not letting you go. Stay with me, Andrew.
As they wheeled him into the trauma room, she took charge, her nurse instincts kicking in. She expertly cleaned the wound and prepared for the procedure, feeling a mix of anxiety and determination.
Lisa.
Andrew whispered, his voice strained.
It hurts.
I know.
She said softly, fighting back tears as she prepped for the bullet extraction.
But you need to focus on getting better. You promised to come back to me.
After the bullet was removed and Andrew stabilized, Lisa sat beside him, her fingers intertwined with his.
You scared me.
She confessed, her voice trembling.
But you're going to be okay. Just promise me you'll keep fighting.
He squeezed her hand, his voice a hoarse whisper.
I'll always fight for you, Lisa.
2 days later, as he was recovering, Lisa hatched a plan.
Andrew, let's get you out of here.
She whispered, glancing around to make sure the coast was clear. With some effort, she helped him up, carefully navigating the hallways until they reached the rooftop terrace. The stars blinked down at them, the city alive beneath their feet. Once on the terrace, Andrew leaned against the railing, his face lit up by the city lights.
I can't believe you snuck me out.
I couldn't let you go without finishing what we started.
Lisa teased. He pulled her closer, their bodies fitting together like pieces of a puzzle.
Then, let's not waste any more time.
Their lips met in a fiery kiss, igniting the passion that had simmered between them for so long. The taste of blood mixed with the warmth of desire as they kissed deeply, forgetting the world around them. Suddenly, Andrew winced, pulling back slightly.
Ouch! That still hurts.
She raised an eyebrow, a teasing smile spreading across her face.
Oh no, did I just hurt the tough guy? Maybe we should wait until you're fully healed before going all in?
He chuckled, shaking his head.
Yeah, because nothing says romance like waiting for bullet wounds to heal.
Hey, it's just smart planning.
She replied with a playful grin.
After all, we wouldn't want your next kiss to come with a side of pain.
He laughed, nodding.
Point taken. Let's just stick to gentle for now.
As they pulled away, breathless and panting, Andrew looked into her eyes, the promise of love shining bright.
I'm not going anywhere, Lisa. Not ever.
She smirked, her heart racing.
Good, because I need my favorite patient to stick around. After all, who else is going to keep me entertained during night shifts?
Andrew chuckled, raising an eyebrow.
Is that a promise? Because I might just start pretending to be injured more often.
Lisa laughed, leaning in closer.
Well, I do have a few healing methods in mind. Lots of kisses and late-night conversations to boost your morale.
With the stars as their witness, they both grinned, feeling the weight of the world lift off their shoulders. Amidst the chaos of the night, they had found a connection that would endure. The night shift had transformed into a night of promise, laughter, and unyielding strength, filled with the playful banter that marked the beginning of something truly special.
I kept my word.
He whispered in her ear.
I shall keep mine, too.
She smiled through her tears, realizing that sometimes all you need is a promise worth keeping.